Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. 49ers OTAs are underway, and that means that we can finally talk about some football. Now, no pads were worn, no 11-on-11s during this practice session, which was open to the media, but a lot of takeaways from day one of OTAs, so let's get to it here on the show, and don't forget to subscribe for year-round daily coverage of the San Francisco 49ers. I talked about this on Sunday, that the number one player to watch, no doubt, is going to be Trey Lance, and all eyes were on Trey Lance during this practice session today. Now, throughout this offseason, he's been working out with Patrick Mahomes' throwing coach in Jeff Christensen. And Jeff Christensen had said that normally when he works with quarterbacks, it doesn't take him a long time to point out the mechanical flaws, to correct them, which then allows that quarterback to be a little bit more successful. He said with Lance, that was not the case. It took him 4 days to figure out what was wrong with Lance. And then when they made those mechanical adjustments, Trey Lance had a, quote, major breakthrough. And today was our first opportunity to really take a look and see what type of adjustments Lance made to his mechanics. And I'll tell you this, at looking at the videos that are coming out from the SAP Performance Center at Levi's, the mechanics and the throwing motion looks a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact. It's a quicker and a faster delivery. Now, can that lead to better accuracy? We'll see. Kyle Shanahan did say that his base, meaning his lower half, looks the best that it's looked since they drafted him. That could also lead to better mechanics, because if you're all wobbly with your lower half and you have this wide stance, you think about it. Try to throw a ball with a wide stance. You're not going to have a lot of rhythm, a lot of consistency. If everything is more compact from your feet to your hips to your legs to your torque to your throwing motion, you're just going to complete some of those layups a little bit more easier, and you're going to be a little bit more accurate with the football. So that's the main takeaway from OTAs day one. Trey Lance did talk with the media after that practice session, and I think this is pretty interesting. He said, quote, "I finally feel like I'm having fun playing football again." I can imagine you get drafted number 3, you're a young kid, he just turned 23 years old a couple of months ago, you deal with those injuries, you deal with the media scrutiny, you deal with the pressure of potentially being a bust. He may not have been in a good mental spot, and then when you suffer from those injuries and you feel as though you can't show what you have, that can be very, very frustrating. As for Lance addressing trade rumors, which did circulate all throughout this offseason, he said, quote, "This is absolutely the place that I want to be." He admitted that the finger injury that he suffered as a rookie did lead to mechanical flaws, which also hurt his accuracy and his consistency to just complete throws on a consistent basis. What's also of note here, because Kyle Shanahan a couple of months ago said that maybe Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, maybe it was John Lynch who said this, either way, they might split reps with that first-team offense. Throughout the first 2 days of OTAs, Trey Lance has taken every first-team rep with that offense. Kyle Shanahan said that Lance has been able to correct his grip, which was compromised because of that fractured finger back in 2021. That's put him in a much better spot mechanically now as compared to last year. And Grant Cohn, who was on the scene, tweeted this out after practice had concluded that Lance took all those first-team reps. He completed 12 of 17 passing attempts. Sam Darnold took all of the second-team reps. He completed 11 of 15 balls. He also fumbled a snap. And then Brandon Allen did not miss a throw. Brock Purdy also spoke with the media and said that he's feeling good, but he's not going to rush that injury. And Kyle Shanahan was asked about that Brock Purdy elbow injury. He is, quote, hoping that Purdy is ready to go week 1, and Purdy is expected to start throwing as early as next week. That's the 3-month timeline of him coming off that surgery. He says the goal is to be ready for week 1, but Brock Purdy himself is not setting any firm dates to expect at this point. He said that is just the goal. Shanahan's direct quote, "We're hoping for week 1. We feel pretty optimistic about that." So in their conversations with doctors, it looks as though as far as the recovery process is going, everything is going swimmingly so far. As for the players who were not there, no Nick Bosa, and keep in mind, organized team activities, these are optional. No Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, or Trent Williams. Nothing really surprising there. These are long-term veterans. Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Hargrave signed a 4-year, $84 million deal. Trent Williams is the best left tackle in all of football. They don't need to be there at OTAs. Mandatory minicamp, of course, is a different story. Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, both held out of scrimmage-type stuff just because of minor tightness. Dre Greenlaw was looking on at practice. Doesn't have a cast on that thumb injury, as was Quantrez Knight, the backup defensive back. He had a cast on his right hand. So depth player looking to make the roster. It's not a huge deal as of right now. David Lombardi with the top plays from 49ers Open OTA session on day one. Braden Willis made a diving one-handed catch on a crosser from Sam Darnold. Isaiah Oliver, who I've continued to say is the most underrated pickup of free agency for San Francisco. Really good slot nickel corner who's going to step in the shoes of Jimmy Ward. Had a rangy pass breakup on a deep out attempt from Trey Lance to Chris Conley. And then Sam Darnold had a nice deep pass to Danny Gray. But Darrell Luter Jr. with an excellent pass breakup there. Darrell Luter Jr. is a player who I think could push for snaps from day one. He showed pro-type instincts at South Alabama. Yes, he's a fifth-round pick. But the Niners have done a great job of identifying some of these late-round guys and then ended up having some pretty big roles for a team that obviously is ready to win right now. Why I like Luter and why he could press for day one snaps. Not afraid to get up in your girl at the line of scrimmage. He can play press man at the line of scrimmage. Long arms, can jam you, is physical, has good ball skills and ball awareness when the ball is in the air, and he's made a lot of plays on the football as well at South Alabama, and that seems to be the consensus so far here. Day one of OTAs, I say that because that's the first day that the media has been allowed to see everything that's been transpiring. They did practice yesterday, OTA session, but nobody knows how that went, right? Because the media was not able to be on hand. So those are some 49ers OTA takeaways. Very interesting stuff here with Trey Lance. The pressure is on him. He can rise, he can fall. If he falls, that's on him. If he rises, it's going to be a difficult decision for this coaching staff to make and this organization to make. Who do you start week one if Trey Lance is balling out? The guy that you traded 3 first-round picks for and took at number 1, or the guy in Brock Purdy who's coming off that severe elbow injury? The fact that Purdy is coming along nice in his rehab is obviously a good sign, but of course it adds drama to this quarterback position. But what is this organization? What is Niners talk without drama at that quarterback position? Make sure you subscribe to the show. To everybody who tuned into our live show, we got $500 in donations. That's why we're doing this show live. If you're watching this after the fact, hit that sub button and lock us in.